In this example here, we're going to take a look at how do we find the volume of a hemisphere. Okay. Now a hemisphere is a half sphere. So we're taking some ball, okay, and we're cutting it in half. Now it's going to be exactly in half. So therefore it resembles a regular sphere, but it's exactly half of that. And so we can think of finding the volume of a hemisphere as finding the volume of a regular sphere. Okay, 4 pi r cubed divided by 3 is our formula, and then dividing it by 2. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to do to find the volume of a hemisphere. So if we know the radius of our hemisphere, we can determine what the volume is. Here is just a bit more of a simplified version, so to speak. If you want to use exactly that simplified version, 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So we can put a 2 there instead of the 4. And so a hemisphere is 2 pi r cubed divided by 3. All right, now that we know the radius, let's plug it in. So plug it into the equation. 2 pi r cubed, so that's the 6 cubed. That's 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Yep. 2 times pi times 216, and then divide that all by 3, and we're going to get an answer of roughly 452.39 cubic centimeters, which would be the volume of this hemisphere. Now, if your number that you got when you calculate this is slightly different, I used pi on my calculator, which gives me as close a representation to pi as I can get. If you use 3.14, and that's what you have been taught how to use, that works as well. You're just going to get a slightly smaller number than I have. And in the case of spheres, it's actually going to be like really, really close in comparison. So that's just as a heads up when you're doing calculations, depending on how you do the calculations, will depend on the answer you get, and it might be slightly different from somebody else, even though you've done it correctly.